Tonight, Jamaica recorded 32 new COVID-19 cases yesterday and one death, according to reports from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. A Jamaica Defense Force JDF private and 2 men from Hanover were among 5 people murdered across the island this Saturday night into Sunday morning. Prime Minister Andrew Holness said that the government is committed to engaging the youth population in programs that will provide them with clear pathways for success and steer them away from criminal behavior. And Education and Outreach Officer for the Montego Bay Marine Park Trust, Charlinda Forrester, is calling on residents to protect the ecosystem along the Montego Bay shoreline by not littering. Good evening. Jamaica recorded 32 new COVID-19 cases yesterday and 1 death, according to reports from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This tally comprises 24 females and 8 males, with ages ranging from 8 months to 81 years old. The new cases bring the island's infection total to 48,983. St. Catherine and Westmoreland topped the list of infections with 5 cases each, followed by Kingston and St. Andrew and Clarendon with 4 cases each. Manchester, St. Anne and St. James had 3 cases each, while Portland and St. Elizabeth had 2 cases each, and Trelawney had 1 case. Dead is a 57-year-old female from St. James. The island currently has 21,209 active cases after 129 people recovered from the virus, resulting in a total recovery of 26,424. Taxi operators in and around Old Harbour in St. Catherine this morning withdrew their service in protest regarding police victimization. According to the taxi operators, they say they are being targeted by the police in receiving tickets and fines, making their lives more difficult. They note that with this burden, fares are not increasing either. Later on in the afternoon, however, most taxi operators resumed service. And we will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscast. A Jamaica Defense Force JDF private was among 5 people murdered across the island Saturday night into Sunday morning. It is reported that a top-level investigation is now underway into the fatal shooting of the soldier and another man in Spring Peace District, St. Anne, on Saturday. The JDF member has been identified as 25-year-old Leighton Sinclair, while the other victim was identified as 38-year-old Devoy Webb, a mechanic. Both men are off Spring Peace District addresses. The Oterius police report that at about 11:20 p.m., residents heard explosions and summoned them. The cops later found both men with gunshot wounds. They were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. In Hanover, 29-year-old Aaron Melbourne, better known as Don, and 18-year-old Baglio Anthony Salmon of Hudson Crescent, Norwood, St. James, were fatally shot, and 3 other men were left nursing gunshot wounds after they were attacked in Mount Pleasant. On the other hand, 2 of the injured men are from St. James, while the remaining 2 are from Hanover. Reports from the police are that at about 6 p.m., residents reportedly heard loud explosions in the community and called the police. The police, on arrival, found the body of Melbourne and Salmon lying along the roadway with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. 3 men later turned up at the Noel Holmes Hospital in the parish with what appeared to be gunshot wounds for treatment. And when our news team visited the area today, we spoke with one of the men that was shot and injured who had this to say regarding the incident.
We heard some explosion where they squelched the air at Punches Beaches. We model Montego Bay back here. So we get our help from Punches Beaches and Barrett Town. So we use little pot of it, we are pot Farmington. Up on the air that they squelched yesterday, at Punches Beaches. I came out the house and look out there to see what really happened. I see a runner up come up and I run in the house back. After the sound, I say, wait. I remember clearly a man said I should have stand up for it. But if me stand up for this, I would be a dead man. Because when me come in the house, me get shot. So my neighbor now say, you can't stay here. You have to go to the Kingsdale police station or lose the police, and I have to take you over to the hospital to get your dress. Luckily, we see our community service taxi, and I tried to go on it, and it helped me to go to the hospital. When I was in the hospital, I see two men, and they are from the same Punches Beach area, where they said they get shot in the left foot and must be all over. When I reached home, my neighbor told me that they lose Dan, and I don't know if they said another one.
Melbourne's mother also spoke with our news team and had this to say concerning the incident.
Yesterday morning I was in my bed, and when I wake up and come out, I heard several amount of gunshot down the road firing. And then me know say my son was inside, but I didn't know that him come out for them did have a little work to go do. But him did go to the shop. And after that now, me not know for me never expect say he was in the shooting still. Them would have shoot him still. So then when I hear the firing of around hundreds of gunshot fire, whole heap, them fire, whole heap. Then fire down the road. And afterward they said around 2 months for my son dead. When pet name is Dan, him brighted name is Aaron Melbourne. The whole of we in the district know him as Dan. Dan is his name, what his sister give him his name from birth. And them shoot others people. He died and another guy died. We had 4 more get shot. Him is 29 year old. Boy, me tell her say better if me true me have to live for others, me just say hold it up.
Another family member of Melbourne also gave her account of what she believed had transpired.
Yesterday I was down at my friend where I sleep, and I have a pail in my hand and I hear a couple shots firing down the road. And I run and come up to my house up here, so. And when I come up here, I see one man. I don't see no other man. I just see one man. But people say there are 3 men run towards Prescott house. And I see the man firing wild shot coming up the road. And I run back down to my friend's house. And then I come back up again. And when I come back up, I see 2 youths say they get shot. But they never said whether it's police, soldier or who. But when I hear again, I hear that my cousin got shot. And when I go down there and see him, he got several shots. And he lay down right beside a grave. I am not assuming, but no, bad man. That is a police job. Police do that work. I can't stop crying for my cousin. My cousin is so good to me. His name is Dan. But the police, them don't like him. So I believe that is the police shoot him.
The incident is currently being investigated by the Major Investigation Division, MID. The 5th murder victim in the bloody 24 hours has been identified as 21-year-old Nico McLaren of a Kingston 11 address. The police report that at about 8 a.m. on Saturday, they heard loud explosions in the Riverton City area. They went to check and stumbled on McLaren's body in a pool of blood with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the head. Investigators are still trying to determine a motive for the killing. 6 persons were rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital following a 2-vehicle collision along the Bogue Main Road in Montego Bay, St. James this morning. When our news team visited the crash site, we spoke with District Officer for the St. James Fire Brigade, Nicholas Reed, who explained what transpired.
At about 9:45 a.m. this morning, the brigade received a call of motor vehicle accident along the Reading Main Road. responded to the scene and saw two vehicles involved, a Toyota Hilux and a Mazda Demio. 6 persons total was involved in the accident, 2 in the Toyota and 4 in the Mazda. All 4 occupants of the Mazda was transported to the Corner Regional Hospital, 2 by the brigade's ambulance and 2 before the arrival of the brigade. None of the injuries seemed life-threatening, but persons are at the hospital seeking medical attention.
And we will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscast. The infamous Devil's Race Course in Guy's St. Catherine claimed another life on Saturday. Dead is 55-year-old Alfred Lawrence, a farmer of Bonnet District, St. Catherine. Reports from the Guy's police are that at about 7:45 a.m., Lawrence was driving his Wassi motorcycle along the roadway towards Guy's when the motorcycle collided with a Toyota Probox taxicab. Lawrence, who was reportedly not wearing a helmet, received serious injuries and was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The driver and one of the passengers of the taxicab also complained of injuries and sought medical attention. The Guy's police are investigating. In other news, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said that the government is committed to engaging the youth population in programs that will provide them with clear pathways for success and steer them away from criminal behavior. Mr. Holness was addressing the passing out parade for the Jamaica National Service Corps JNSC intake 2020-2021 at Up Park Camp in St. Andrew on Saturday, where over 200 soldiers, including 50 females, have enlisted into the Jamaica Defense Force JDF under the latest batch of the JNSC. He commended the young soldiers for sticking to their training, noting that they have a key role to play in building a safer and more secure Jamaica.
With each successive intake that successfully completes the JNSC program, I am heartened that there are so many of our young people who are still willing to serve. I believe that one of my primary duties as Prime Minister and as a citizen of this country is to ensure that there are good opportunities, such as the JNSC program, that will enable all our young people to move forward and achieve their full potential. Securing a nation requires more than just bearing arms. Rather, it demands a strong sense of duty and commitment to serve. It requires commitment to country before self, and most importantly, it requires persons who are cognizant of the full range of their responsibilities. The government's investment in the JDF and the JNSC program is critical for the continued assurance of a foundation of defense and security on which a prosperous economy can be built.
The Prime Minister said that the present-day model of national security requires more than just armed members of the security forces patrolling the streets of targeted communities, noting that persons must have a broader range of skills.
To the newest members of the regular force, your service with the JDF will mean that you are on the front lines of the efforts to reduce crime and violence in Jamaica. For many years, we have understood security in Jamaica to mean that armed men and women of the security forces would patrol our streets and communities. The present-day model of security is one in which the government aims to secure the physical security of individual citizens, as well as enhance their economic, social, environmental, and health security. The success of this approach to citizen security lies in every Jamaican playing their part by being a part of the solution towards better security. Unfortunately, Too many of our young people continue to find themselves as part of the problem. Our nation's youth are the future of our country. If we are to reduce the high levels of crime and violence in Jamaica, we must productively and positively engage our youth so that they do not become targets for recruitment by gangs or fall prone to other types of criminal activities.
He told the young people that their technological awareness and adaptability places them in an ideal position as the government increases its investment in building the capacity of the security forces to tackle crime and violence.
This long-term approach drove the creation of the JNSE program in 2017. The changing nature of the security threat also requires a change in our response. While security measures such as the zones of special operation and state of emergency must remain an important part of our crime-fighting toolbox, our responses must take into account the changing nature of the security threats that we face. In the coming years, as the government continues to invest in the modernization of our security apparatus, we will continue to see the increasing infusion of ICT in the security field. This will require our security personnel to have a broader range of skills. As young people, your technological awareness and adaptability place you in an ideal position as we continue to build our capabilities in this respect. While the JDF's impact on internal security and defense is apparent, investment in the JDF's security resources impacts many other essential infrastructure and services. The government is committed to the continued support of the national security and defense apparatus that is foundational to the growth and development of a prosperous society. And the JDF is and will remain a critical pillar of that apparatus.
A total of 260 recruits successfully completed the year-long training program. However, due to COVID-19 protocols, only 24 graduates were allowed to attend the ceremony. And those are some of the stories making news. We will return with other stories, with Prime Minister Andrew Holness urging private developers to provide more housing solutions for young professionals and the affordable low-income segment of the housing market, as well as news that Education and Outreach Officer for the Montego Bay Marine Park Trust, Charlinda Forrester, is calling on residents to protect the ecosystem along the Montego Bay shoreline by not littering. But first, let's take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.